All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, or welcome for the first time to the Swain Baddy League, the finale season, season 11 of the Swain Baddy League of League of Legends is bad. It's the last season, it's the finale. Did you know that we're going to play League of Legends tonight? I'm AJS0, and I'm here with Scotchanaut and 30 on the camera work to kick things off for what I think is going to be a really exciting season, hopefully.
Yeah, one would hope the last round in the chamber is going to be a real exciting one here. I am excited to get back to the roots of what the SBL is about, and that is bad League of Legends. And I think this
Yeah,
is the first season we've seen such a disparity between the good players and the bad players. But you can't hide all your bad players on the bench. So we're going to have games where people are diving fountain, building boots at 35 minutes, and who knows what other shenanigans.
Yeah, this draft I thought was a really exciting one. These teams all have some level of certifiable garbage on their rosters, and there are some really insanely good players in the league this season too. So it should be really fun watching who pops off against who.
Yeah, this'll be some highlight reel material, I feel like.
All right, so we are kicking things off here. We have Team Zeticus versus Team Destructive Dude, or as they will now be called, Ornhub versus Dive the Fountain. Ornhub on the blue side, Dive the Fountain on the red. And we're going to start this one off fairly on time. Shout out to these two teams. I think 2 minutes late for game one of the season is probably an all-time SBL record.
Yeah, that's something to be real proud of. Of all the things we could be proud of, that's probably top three easy.
You used to.
So let's see here.
So nothing, I guess, I don't know too many of the champion pools in as much detail as I should. But a few of these bands, not going to be any surprises. Evolite losing that Vigar, On the Wind losing that Echo. I've been watching those champs get banned for years now.
Yeah, On the Wind also getting his Aurelia pinched out too, so it'll be interesting if what he falls back on here. But he's definitely on his tier 2 of champions.
Yeah, we've seen this before. Ban out On the Wind, hope for the best, and it usually works out good enough for him, as Ornhub's going to take Trundle with the first overall pick.
Always a pretty good top laner, though you usually nowadays see it in the jungle. And we got a Maokai on the other side. Interesting.
Yeah, is a Mr. Coffee special. Wouldn't be surprised if that is actually going to be his pick up there in the top lane.
Unfortunately, being week one, we have a decent idea where everyone's going, but one of these teams is subbing, so things could get shuffled around.
Yeah,
But obviously, people can go anywhere. We have enough people that can play 2-3 positions that you can always throw a curveball out week one.
yeah, and or you can just throw a straight pitch and pick Ornn when you're Ornhub.
That is true.
Yo, can we talk about how awesome that tag is, Orny?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm mildly upset I didn't think of that team name.
So Ornn and Lulu gonna round out this first rotation of picks for Ornhub, as we've got a very supportive and tanky team so far from them. Gonna set up Mighty Wolf to hopefully do some big damage. Obviously, Mighty Wolf, I'm expecting to see be the big dog on this team. And then Luck's going to be the pick that rounds out this first rotation for DTF.
Yeah, you have two teams that have fairly similar recipes for success in
worst that could happen.
Ornhub and can I remember? Broke Bottom Boys,
No.
aka the Camera Squad, and the Mighty Wolf squads. Although I would say Ornhub is a pretty sneaky good team on paper. Just looking at their roster, they got a lot of pretty good players and a really good player. So, be interesting to see. It might be a case of the Mighty Wolf doesn't have to pop off every week.
Yeah, we will see. Ornhub is also playing with their bench player as well, presumably. They do not have Sinister Beyblade in the lineup tonight, so I think we would expect to see starting. And from the sounds of things, I assumed Dougie was going to be their bench player, so they're not quite playing at full strength themselves yet. But obviously, Dive the Fountain missing their highest rated player. So Ornhub, if you're gonna be a top team, this is kind of the game you have to be able to take, even when you're at a disadvantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, we're counting down here to the very last second. A cannon mid then? I don't think anything. I mean, I guess Lulu could maybe go mid, but we haven't seen that since Stripe was in the league.
Yeah,
and
it's
interesting.
Old pick.
Is it League of Sivir again? Did I not get the memo?
Dude, she takes teleport now.
Oh god. Teleport ults, can you imagine?
I'm a big fan of Sivir, at least a few patches ago, so we'll see how this is going to go. As we've got Sivir for Ornhub, and then Tristana going to round things out for DTF, and that is going to be our full draft here. So, some meta picks and some very, very not meta picks across both these teams, as one would expect in the SBL.
Yeah, absolutely. Just if you take away the names on each team, which comp do you like better, just on paper here?
Oh, it's hard to say. I've always been a fan of the teams that can wave clear and siege, so I gotta give probably a little favor over to the right Dive the Fountains comp. It seems fairly easy to execute. You go mid, poke them under their tower, you eventually take that tower. And they've got some tools, so they should be able to do that pretty fast. But as we know in the SBL, teams love getting caught in bad team fights. So Sivir, Ornn, Kennen, I could definitely see catching things out.
That's a run you down team if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, and especially on the Dive the Fountain side, they're going to be asking a lot from some of these players that are either rookies or, in Fallen's case, an emergency sub. And Evelyn and Coffee are just kind of rounding things out for that roster, whereas Ornhub, those are all varying degrees of SBL veterans, guys who know pre-made League of Legends, know how to play the game slow and smart.
And no one's trying to execute on a particularly difficult comp. The only thing that I could see being a major issue is, we're grouping for the team fight and Sivir pops the ult and Maokai just throws down the ultimate and they walk away kind of thing. It is an ult trade, but I think you'd want that Sivir ult over the Maokai ult. The DTF squad definitely has some good team fight, but also some really good pick potential with Maokai and Lux. They could pretty much throw snares and roots around pretty safely and then pick what they want. Whereas on the other side here on Ornhub, they kind of got to commit and just run at your face.
But sometimes running at the face and right-clicking is the easiest strategy.
That is definitely the case sometimes.
As I'm sure 30 and I can both attest, sometimes you imagine this brilliant strategy on paper and there's all this intricacies to what your team comp is capable of doing. And then you realize getting 5 bad League of Legends players to do that's impossible. Why do you think Splinter's so good? He always plays the easy shit, man. There's a reason he's never picked up Lee Sin. The best part about the further I've been removed from League of Legends is like the less I've had holding me back from just mad trash talking everyone in the league. Folks, we're going out with a bang. We're going out with some baddie traditions. I'm not holding anything back this season. We're shitting on Master Splinter in every single game I cast. I promise you.
So not only is there going to be Wang watching, but there's going to be Splinter Cam.
Yeah, dude, Splinter lies. Here comes the fake news. I'm tearing his legacy down.
Oh, the other thing I just noticed, 2 teleports on both teams. I know sometimes teleport's been making a comeback, but it's interesting to see double teleports or teleports on both mid laners. Kennen it kind of makes sense on, but Lux, I guess, just so you cannot get pushed out of lane.
I gotta ask Satch, how much have you been playing in the past, 4 months? A lot or not a lot?
I took a, however long the BOL was break, and then when SBL 11 got announced, I picked it up probably about a month ago, so
Okay.
a lot of patches I missed.
Yeah, my knowledge essentially comes down to what I've seen in the professional scene, which even that I haven't watched as closely as I used to. So I know there's obviously been some changes since the MSI patch, but I was really hoping to see some more of these 6 teleport games where people swap their spells halfway through. And unfortunately, we only got 4 of them this game. I've actually been very upset to know that there's a meta where 80 carries get to take teleports, and I was not playing for it.
I gotta remember all my buttons for spectate mode.
You mean the ones where you put your hands on your lap and don't touch anything?
Well, no, I'm trying to get the play bar to disappear above the
screen.
Oh,
I am personally very excited to cast the game that has directed camera again.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah, this is clearly a AAA title, not an indie game like Overwatch. As I'm gonna tweak some volume settings, I'm gonna make this borderless full screen. Alright folks, the League of Legends reinstall has been a success.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
And I think I am live. Was it plus streaming live? Yeah, we are live, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the SBL, where you will watch 2 teams stare the river down in every single matchup.
God, I hope we get to see an ARAM for 10 minutes where nobody gets anything.
I have to say, whenever I watch Pro League, especially the international events, and they start shitting on the teams for not doing anything at level 1, I always took that really personally.
What, you didn't want the game to be decided within the first 30 seconds of loading in? You spent 2 hours on the draft, let's at least see it play out a little bit.
Yeah, level 1 was not my forte for all the things I could call. That is to be expected in this league. But, alright, we are in, and we're going to be seeing this set up a lot more times. We got Pornhub leashing for Thor here, Coffee leashing for Kaiser on the other side of the map, and both these teams going to break down into some standard lanes. So on the winds in the mid lane here. That is so weird. I guess it's a 1-week thing, presumably, until Sinister Beyblade comes back, but... Probably not going to be too much excitement going on early, especially with these junglers. I wouldn't expect to see anything crazy going on the map early. Although Sensory and Mighty Wolf are slowly creating some pressure in the spotlight. Sensory, and yeah, there we go. They're gonna hit level 2 person. Sensory really trying to bully out with the level advantage here, but just taking some damage himself in the process.
Yeah, sometimes that ends up biting you right back in the face. It is important to get that level 2, but sometimes you can walk out and end up taking a whole heap of damage yourself. But the nice thing about the supports is you usually take 3 pots into lane now, so if you can get the damage on the 80 carry, it's huge, even if it's, you know, almost 1 to 2, because then they blow their pot and you know you can poke them out afterwards.
Yeah, and kind of getting a feel for how these first few minutes are going to play out. We do have Fire Drake as the first one available, so hopefully that means we see some action fairly early on. These teams probably a little more willing to contest than they might be.
Are you calling the 4-man shit show in the bottom lane?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, baby. There's they already got that deep ward behind them. They can do it right now. God, that'd be
That's
great.
gonna be hard. Ooh.
3 minutes into the match, they do the double teleport behind. That'd be a tilt.
And Sensory GG are laying down some really good pressure in this bot lane, and this is exactly what you want to do in the Tristana lane. Kaiser showing up there to walk away from the lane, it looks like. He is standing on top of a ward, so probably not going to accomplish a whole lot, as he is just kind of making his way behind the scene, but Mighty Wolf and Sentry are backing off enough that Kaiser cannot commit to this, so he is leaving. However, meanwhile, up in this top lane, this is a disaster for everyone's favorite teacher, as he is currently down 10 to 23 against the Ornn Hub.
Yeah, he's definitely teaching him how to Dougie.
Yeah, absolutely. His Ornn laying down some nice damage here. Maokai gets chunked out and has to pop the last of his health potions.
Oh, it looks like a dive maybe is coming in.
Yeah, both junglers
I guess
are in the area.
Just sniffing around.
Yeah, but Coffee has to be careful. He's going to be dangerously close to giving up a solo kill here. He's got to really watch his ass underneath this tower. As at least both the junglers I've seen now, the mid laners are rotating over. As
we got
getting chunked out by Fowlin here, but I think everyone's gonna end up disengaging this one. Watch out for this.
Kaiser really does not want to give him that scuttle.
Yeah, now Dougie is rotating towards this river, but we also have a little skirmish going down in this bot lane before things cut back. Kaiser now on the run. Fowlin's going to miss the snare. Now Kaiser has to pop the flash with double flash, all poured up, and first blood going over to Thor.
Well, that was a lot of summoners blown.
Yeah, 2 flashes from Ornn Hub, flash from Kaiser on Dive the Fountain. But as is always expected, Thor finds the kills.
And that's pretty big too, because not only did he kill him, but he also secured Scuttle too. And I don't know if you're up on it, but it is literally like League of Scuttle. Junglers have to get that to stay anywhere close to what the solo lanes are getting for XP.
I am vaguely aware of the Scuttle metal game, so Thor in a very good place now, as I guess we'll see his EXP in a moment when camera starts cutting around. But all across the board, a very good start for Ornn Hub here. They're up just over 1,000 gold already. So with the kill and the top lane lead primarily, with some slight leads in the other 2 lanes, they are winning across the board right now.
And it looks like Coffee kind of stopped the bleeding here. He looks like he just really botched level 1.
I'm actually going to disagree. I don't think he really stopped the bleeding. The fact that he was under so much pressure, Dougie was able to rotate onto that Scuttle fight, while Coffee had to stay in lane, and it directly turned into first blood.
That's true. I just meant strictly from a CS standpoint. It hasn't gotten worse since we last looked at it here.
Yeah, Dougie has not been able to spend yet. Coffee has, so that gold advantage not doing anything for him at the moment, although he does have a slight EXP lead. Bot lane playing kind of aggressively again. To Mighty Wolf still putting out some big pressure. His CS lead is starting to balloon here. Jungler's nowhere near the bottom, as this could start going really bad for Evelites.
Yeah, this is an obnoxiously pokey bottom lane. The nice thing is there's a lot of support items now that let you build that hybrid defense. So when you're stuck in this lane against, you know, a mage and an AD carry, you do have a few answers other than just building a locket immediately, which isn't always the best thing to do.
Yeah, ooh, Fallon getting really chunked out here in this mid lane. He kind of turns around to trade, but does make it underneath his tower. Yeah, this is going so well for the Ornhub bot lane, and we expected the Mighty Wolf and Century GG to probably be one of the best bot lanes in the league. They are living up to that thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like unless they get some help here, that turret's gonna go down here probably in another 2 or 3 minutes.
Kaiser is recalling right now, so not going to attempt any help. No, he is sticking around, using the blast cone to go over. There we go, the flag.
Oh, and here we go.
But a defensive zipper all coming up. But Century GG is still going to get popped here. A kill going over to Evelite. Now they are trying to chase down to Mighty Wolf. He still has summoners available, trying to hold them. Save that heal to the last second with the ult. He's held on to the flash too long, and Evelite gets the double kill.
That was very nice.
Mid lane though, on the win, sees the jungle on his own. Everyone fighting everywhere. When you blow the horn, something with horn. Mr. Coffee has the pop a defensive Maokai ult, and a tower dive not going to be attempted here. And I think things are finally going to wind down. No, Thor is going to chase Coffee down between these turrets, at least force that recall, and he will.
God, you know that joke in the professional games when a jungler shows himself and everybody throws down? Oh my god, we got cross-map fighting non-stop.
Yeah, and it felt like On the Wind was really biding his time for that to happen. He had that lane prepped for a lot of the last 5 minutes to go for an easy kill. Finally gets it, so they give up a double kill to Avalites, but at least they secure something for it in the mid lane. And Pornhub does lose some of their lead, but they are still handily ahead here without the 10 minutes. And
I mean,
still with pressure in all 3 lanes, but Kaiser coming back down. Going to be caught.
It worked so well the first time.
Yeah, ooh, Jesus, he gets choked out.
Maybe not so much the second time. But both of those kills in the earlier gank, both went on Evil Light, and that is a huge boon to him. He is up a pickaxe right now, it looks like, just about.
Yeah, he's got the pickaxe, whereas Mighty Wolf went into the Zerka's Greaves, but this is still big tower pressure for the Mighty Wolf, maybe a wave away from taking this turret, but Thor has shown up in this mid lane. He is chasing down Fowlin's luck, but now Fowlin is getting some trade damage here. Thor is a melee range. This is going to be dangerous. He's being slowed by a teleport coming from On the Wind, gonna return from base, and now he is chasing out that Lux, who is going to flash out. I think Fallon has escaped.
Let's see, Thor didn't blow his flash. I don't know, that was flash for teleport. I don't know if that trade is worth it. But you also got Kennan's ultimate, so if there's a throwdown at Dragon anytime soon, that's also off the table. That's pretty big. So I'm gonna go with advantage Fowlin on that.
I guess time will tell here if anyone's able to get the return pressure on the Fallon while he's playing without that flash.
Ornhub is doing such a good job of getting damage on these turrets, mid and bottom. They're about to get a huge influx of gold here.
Yeah, despite giving up the double kill, things have not slowed down for Wolf, but in the meantime, we've got in the top lane, Thor coming in. Mr. Coffee tries to flash through the Ornal, but it still gets bopped into him, and that Maokai is being chunked down. Kill going over to Dougie. Power taken in the bot lane while this is going on by Wolf and Sensory, and things are starting to balloon out of control here for Ornhub very quickly. 3k lead here, just shy of 13 minutes. Still winning decisively in all 3 of their lanes.
Yeah, Dougie is actually up about 25 CS now, so that is starting to balloon out of control here. So definitely look like Ornhub is gonna start making off with this here, unless Kaiser can do some really clever fixing of the issues here.
Yeah, and this is just a really consistent lead across the board. Basically, every member of Ornhub is up around 700 gold right now. And so we're going to see some recalls all over here. Maybe we'll see these teams start posturing around Dragon sooner than not. Mr. Coffee's still without his teleport for a few minutes if Ornhub wants to try to pressure that. As we do see them heading that way, I think this will be the first Dragon take. They probably won't even need Dougie to show up to this, as there's really no one near to contest from DTF.
Blue team has slain the dragon.
There we
It's
go.
a nice Dragon free and clear. Interesting how many pings we have on the map right now. Pretty impressive. Although that could also be circumstances of
Yeah, oh, Fowlin was not ready. You just saw the notification, the Dragon went down. You knew those guys in the area were not your friends, but he dies anyway. 0-2-0 on this Lux. Not the greatest professional debut.
But yeah, supports don't really get their warding item till post 10 minutes now. So I think League took a stance on warding is everyone's job early on, and the only way they can figure out how to do that as a small indie company is just make it so supports don't get their warding item until 10 minutes, so other people have to participate, or the junglers just get to walk around for free. Well, pink wards are a pretty easy way to ward your flank, and you can usually protect one side of the lane. And then if the jungler comes to collect his taxes, just buy another one.
Has worked for them. So looking at
Oh, Coffee, I don't know if you want to mess with that.
So we do see everyone kind of rotating around this Rift Herald area as Fowlin getting chunked out. Mighty Wolf is playing with so much gusto right now as he chunks out both of the opposing carries by himself here. This should set up into a mid-siege.
Yeah, he's definitely not scared, but he does not tickle quite as much as I expected. Had about 5 autos off.
Yeah, this mid tower is 1 or 2 waves away from falling if this turns into some big poke, and potentially even a tower dive. Those carries are going to die fast, and then the fight won't last much longer for DTF. They're going to play very smart in this mid lane. As it's looking like they want to make this even easier. They've rotated to the Rift Heralds. And Kaiser does want to come in and contest this. This could turn into a fight. As Fowler just gets a big poke off. Thor gets shot out.
Thor, you gotta ult someone.
Goes down the front damage. Now the Lord coming through though. This might be a turn on 2 kills over to the Mighty Wolf. 1 to on the win. And a disaster of a Rift Herald contest for DTF as Ornhub takes 3.
Oh man. It looked good for about a second.
Yeah, that about sums things up.
Honestly, if Coffee could have somehow held Dougie top with his soft, supple tree trunk body, that probably would have went a lot better for him. But instead it looks like 3 kills and 2 towers.
Yeah, 3 kills, 2 towers, map pressure all over, as I think Dougie is going to be close to taking this turret in the top lane. Even the bot, well, I guess he's not close to taking this turret, he hasn't been touching this turret, but he has the pressure. There's pressure bot as well, and now we're looking at a 7,000 gold lead here for Ornhub. Still fairly early for a lead of that size. They are in total control to close this one out at this point.
It looks like just some idling here. I mean, there's no neutral objectives to get at the moment, and Ornhub's happy winning every lane, so Definitely
Yeah.
don't have to press the issue, but it looks like they're going to put some attention to get this top tower off the table.
Yeah, and maybe just to help Dougie get a recall. He is sitting on a little over 2,000 gold right now, but he has not opted to leave this lane and spend yet, so they haven't spent all their
Here we go.
Fouling this picture. Eventually no ult required, but no, on the wave actually playing too aggressively. He tries to hold on to his ult, and he ends up dying in the process.
And that's when you just use your ult, whether you think you need it or not.
Yeah, no, he did help his team secure the top lane turret. I don't know how aggressively they're going to position here, as it's looking like the push forward. Vi's actually a flash and whip the brawl off. Simmer will be a eventually, but
they got Simmer
coming out of the tanks. This is looking like a very, very bad fight for Ornhup, as they're trying to show this one. Thor is so deep, but he is now getting booted up, and he goes down.
That got
is
donated.
3 kills for Dive the Fountain, as they are going to claw their way back into this game off of that one.
Oh man, I know I said I wanted to see bad League of Legends, but you know, the Mighty Wolf is not a bad player, but he dared Dive the Fountain to dive him, and they obliged.
Yeah, and it's really basic stuff. Do you lose your mid laner and then keep pushing 4 on 5? And yeah, the enemy team is going to flash and engage. Even though Ryzak whipped the Braum ults there, they didn't need it to find 3 kills there, and this is going to turn into some good turret pressure. Evelite's going to take this turret up in the top lane, and we're going to... Oh, no, maybe On the Wind's teleport, or Dougie's teleport is going to be enough to hold the top lane. So fortunately for Ornhup, they don't lose any objectives off of that. It's just the kill gold going over.
Yeah, definitely could have gone a lot worse for them. Fortunately, they won lanes so hard that no turret is anywhere near going down, and Dive the Fountain has a lot of gold wrapped up in them towers still on the table.
Yeah, so Ornhup gonna take the easy objective here. They're going for this Earth Drake right now. Could be there, so the Lux is trying to make a way there. Sensory GG is enough to zone out as the Lulu, and that's a second Drake going over to Ornhub, as they are creating some solid pressure. Now, Dougie is stuck up in this top lane with no teleport available if DTF were to find a fight here. But the Mighty Wolf was maybe a little deep there. He has about the Simmer ult defensively. Now, he has had to turn and fight Kaiser. He's going down to the damn 1v1. He flashes out, and he just barely makes a double summon his top. Now, the Lux ult probably is not enough. Thor is ready to turn. Ryzak gets a double knockup, but it is not enough to slow this fight down. His Otto is coming in on the flank. The damage is going down. A double kill for Sensory GG. This play is not over. Evelite flashes in to try to find something, but it's going to be a 1 for 3 in favor of Ornhub as they're pushing down the spot lane.
Oh, that was something. After you missed that Graves ult, I think you might have wanted to take the L and walk away, but you can see how close the other members of Ornhub were to saving Wolf's bacon. But Wolf's play there, if you want to call it baiting, definitely paid spades for them, and got 3 kills and another tower. Growing their gold to 9k just about. That is getting to be an insurmountable amount of gold here. Dougie can do whatever the hell he wants. Even if Kaiser comes up here, it's worst case scenario, he just walks away from the fight, but I'm pretty sure if he wanted to, he could probably kill both of them.
Yeah, and he hasn't had to do a whole lot of team play here. Oh, Coffee, you don't want to fight that. Oh, Coffee's gonna scout it to Mighty Wolf though and save his little tree hide.
I think Coffee's a good enough player to... Why is this guy randomly going so aggressive on me? I better ward around me to see what's happening.
Yeah, so 22 minutes in here. Probably a little early for Baron, but I assume we'll see Ornhub starting to set up in the neighborhood.
I think they can do this pretty easily, but I don't think they can do it and fight. Ornn is not that tanky yet, but pretty close. I mean, and you have a great team for that because you have Kennen and Sivir, and if they contest, you literally just run them down. Yeah, it's definitely a tall order here to see
And DTF,
what.
though, they're at least getting some vision control around this Baron, kind of forcing Ornhub's lines back. As Thor was pretty far away from this as it was all breaking down. Like I said, Baron maybe just not even a priority on the radar of these teams this early. But it looks like we're ultimately going to have that good old-fashioned ARAM start busting out here.
You almost wonder if a banner of command should be built or something just so they can get some pressure in the side lanes here. Again, they have so much money wrapped up in these towers that are all still super healthy that is very discouraging for the Fountain.
Yeah, but now we are going to see a good and proper split push finally started here from Ornhub on the wind with that teleport available. Heading down to this bot lane. He has died a few times, but don't let that fool you. I don't think there's anyone on the opposing team that can one-on-one him on this cannon. So they gotta play this one smart, and as I say that, Thor playing this one way deep here, ends up losing his flash, as DTF is not being forced to respect everything. Dougie is on his way back to base. No, not going back to base. He needs to stick around on the flank of this fight, but now maybe he is a bit caught out as Kaiser and Evelite are making their way up. Dougie on this horn. We're going to find out just how tanky he is as Evelite playing right up in his face. That's 280 carries chunking out this horn. Horn is down, but on the other side, Follow gets caught and killed by Baron Nashor. Now onto him, putting up a lot of damage.
Can his team get there?
The Lulu ult over the wall, but still his team cannot get there. They did not have a stripper open. The Mighty Wolf is going in by himself. The Mighty Wolf plays so aggressively, and it might be working. He's doing now so much damage. 2 kills to the Mighty Wolf, 1 to Sentry GG. Looking like they had a chance to catch the Simmer. Ends up being a disaster for Time the Fountain. As now Kaiser is running for his life here. The only member of his team to survive.
Oh my goodness, the cojones on the Mighty Wolf. He plays like he's got 2 coconuts between them legs, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, he just knows exactly when and where he can play aggressively. As it looks like Pornhub is willing to start this Baron in a 3v1 situation. Now, Fowlin maybe gets into range to shoot a Lux Laser. I think he's going to just be out of range for what can happen here. But Kaiser has the opportunity to go in blind here and try for a steal. And there he goes. He does not find it.
Oh, so close.
By Thor, and the cave goes down for us.
I'll give him A for effort. He timed that right. It just was unfortunate. Let's see. Now that Baron's got, we have a Windrake that just came on the table. I don't think anyone's going to be super excited about that. Might be ARAM time? Nah, I think it's probably 4-1 time. You're going to put Dougie in the top. Even though they did kill him, it did take the combined efforts of 3 people and about 10 seconds.
Set the clip pretty wide open right now. This is a good lead. 12,027 minutes. Baron in play. I feel like we are one fight away from seeing this game basically end.
I would agree with you here. This has been a pretty stompy game here. Although, there has been some confusing team fights. Dead of the Fountain has been able to find picks on occasion. I mean, honestly, that's probably their... I don't know how they're going to find it in this situation, but... they can find on the wind, or the Mighty Wolf, and then get a fight afterwards. That is probably their only play here at the moment. It's going to be pretty hard when your Maokai is trying to stem off an angry Ornn.
Yeah, I guess if there's anything going for Divathon right now, Ornhub is setting this push up without their tank. Really, Thor, the only source of tankiness here. But they are not going to opt into a 4v4. They're going to just casually watch as they lose this game. This Amalite getting shoved out. Good God, the damage coming out of the Mighty Wolf is just so much to handle here. Only needs 4 autos to kill Fowlin on the Lux. And that is it. The base is broken. 2 inhibitors are going down here. No, they don't even need to take that second one. Ornhub moving straight onto this Nexus. And this is going to be GG easy. As or maybe not. Dive
No, it's
not for that.
Blue team double kill.
And it's the Mighty Wolf coming up gigantic here. As he's just popping off in his SBL Season 11 debut. And a great start to the season from Ornhub.
Yeah, that was definitely a win lane, win game match here, and definitely showing up. 320 CS in a 28-minute game to Mighty Wolf. Definitely being the catalyst for that win, but Dougie being a diamond in the rough in top lane, just reminding Coffee of the fundamentals of top lane. And what you don't do against an angry Ornn.
Yeah, so I think that's going to do it for game 1. So it'll be about 3 minutes here, and we'll be back. We have Team UTech versus Team Sorta Mace coming up as our second game of the night, aka Enemy Gate is Down versus Table for 4. So stick around.